This essay is titled, Stupid. A shiver down my spine wouldn't begin to describe it. It wouldn't even come close. My entire body rejects this. It's not a cringe, it's not something I can shake off. I feel it as a personal attack against my nervous system. Right then and there, a version of myself I've only let strangers see in cities I've never returned to could have erupted out of me, from my soul straight out into the world through my mouth. That was the first time I saw him dance. His body, moving with incredible freedom, all alone on the hardwood-floored section of the building. He closed his eyes and convinced everyone, or at least me, that we didn't exist at that moment. People laughed at him, but they weren't so sure in their laughter. It was the indecisive laugh, faces with wide grins scanning others for a hint of the correct opinion about this. Luckily, no one looked at me then. If just that one time, I could embrace the truth of my disgust with him, the filth I felt I was watching him bathe in, the beads of sweat beginning to pour down my face, almost mimicking his own, but his were earned. And it wasn't just that. He would dance in everything he did. He would dance when writing, he would dance when swimming in the pool with his cousins, he would dance as if no one was watching when everyone was watching, and vice versa. And it pissed me off. Honestly. Like I said before, it revolted me. I would see others scoff at his physical, material manifestations of his dreams and impulses, the way he trusted himself that in truth, or at least my truth, made him less intelligent in my eyes. I wrote it off to us just having different brains. He doesn't have the same switch in his mind that makes him feel like everything he does is a mistake, that motivates him to follow others even when the feeling puts a pit in his stomach. He doesn't have this in him. And so I looked at my husband as stupid. Yes, I married him. To say I don't know why it would be so false, it just wouldn't be the truth. I know exactly why I married him, because I was so obsessed. Not with him, no, but with this trait he had that I didn't understand, this ability he had to just turn his brain off. It wasn't fair. Did I want that? I don't know. I don't know if I wanted that. I wanted him not to have it. It's him having it and him flaunting it. It was just exhibit after exhibit, piece of evidence after piece of evidence that this world is unfair. That while I was blessed with my own advantages, I didn't have this. But there were times, usually after consumption of some wine, that I danced with him. And there were times when he would take my hand and lead me to the dance floor and wouldn't take no for an answer, not in a pushy way, not in a violent or offensive manner, but rather because I think he saw the yes buried beneath my eyes. He would take me, like I said, usually after I had some stimulating substance, one too many glasses of wine, or a hit off a joint that he always talked down on, but always seemed to jump at first when he did stay out after midnight. And in those moments, I would feel what it was like to be him, to fly above the clouds, the mental clarity of following your intuition and parking your train of thought for the night, allowing the conductors a much-needed couple of hours with their families, God, with themselves. But then I'd feel myself dropping below and into the clouds, and I'd panic, and I'd abort. And I'd force a smile, but deep inside me, the resentment would build and boil over, and a lot of times I had to seek the isolation of a bathroom or a closet, or if I was lucky, the outside air, and the shoulder massage of a cigarette to calm me down. And I'd tell myself whatever I needed to hear in the moment. I'd be the type of friend to myself that tells you exactly what's most convenient for you to hear, and seldom what you actually needed to hear, comfortable to have around, fun, but that friend doesn't give a shit about you. I didn't know what to do with him. I just knew I needed to keep him near me, in my sight. I knew that what he was doing was life, and that me, not having been dealt his hand in life, or not having his birthright advantages, or whatever the hell made him such a good fucking dancer, needed to keep him there, or else I'd lose that. And I turned on him. I sold him out. I didn't just laugh along at his stupidity. I initiated the joke. And what really got to me was he never seemed to mind. Never seemed to mind. He would dance through the joke. And every day became this battle of, I don't know what. I wasn't trying to break him down or break his spirit, but there are truths about this world that I know, and that his actions weren't and still aren't accepting of. So what was I to do? And it wasn't until we had Lainey, and then Sophia, and Archie, and it wasn't until he lost them all that I started to see for myself the truth I had preached for so long, or thought I had preached for so long, wasn't the truth, because this motherfucker danced through the divorce. And he danced through seeing the kids once every 2 weeks. And he danced through finding someone new, and he danced through starting a family with them, and he danced through seemingly perfectly combining the two worlds with no ulterior motive. Honestly, it hasn't been until I sat down to write this that I realized he was making a trade. He was making a trade of looking stupid then, or now, or in the moment, in exchange for at least the idea of not feeling stupid later. It wasn't until now that I realized someone's always going to see you as stupid. Someone's always going to see your effort as an embarrassment, something to cringe over, something to be revolted by. But that's not why you do it. That's not why you take action in the first place. You build the life you want to live. And he had the code cracked, and he was disciplined enough to stick to it every goddamn day of his life. And when I last spoke to him, when he put his hands in mine, it wasn't until then, when every sentence was interrupted by the beep of his heart monitor, that I realized that I feel stupid. That I didn't dance when I wanted to, that I never went after what I wanted to. I subscribed to different newsletters in the shape of human bodies and minds in an effort to reduce myself to a shadow that no one could see but everyone could feel, because I was smart. I am smart. I know how the world works, and I know how fucking awful it is to be seen as stupid, and I couldn't do that. But I did. Right then and there, I decided to tell him everything. Tell him that he revolted me when he danced. Tell him that when he would write his essays and put them out into the world, and when they would get shredded in successful publishers' office, that I thought of him as less of a person because of that. And I told him that when he had the bright idea, yes, actually now in hindsight, the bright idea, to start doing theater at 42 years old, local theater, that every night when I would dress the girls up and dress Archie up and look myself in the mirror, I wanted to spit in my reflection at what I'd become, the wife of a stupid man. But I was a mess. I wasn't smart. I am a mess. I'm stupid. I'm the stupid one. And now what do? You know, he's asleep, and I'm in his hospital room looking at him, me never having remarried, never having taken a risk, and I'm next. And I'm going to rip up this letter because I don't know how to live in a world where I had control over this the whole time, and I relinquished that control, and now my hands are on top of this stupid paper, about to put a stupid rip through it, if I can even do that. And an arm grabs me, and he mutters something that I can't hear. So, sabotaging the tears that started to form, I, in a way that feels smart, say to him, "Were you dancing in your dream? You were always dancing." and a smile began to form on his lips. But quickly it faded, and then there was deep thought behind his eyes. He shook his head, and in that moment I saw his tears, and he began to sob. Then he told me everything.